the last dragon, and a disillusioned dragon-slaying knight must cooperate to stop an evil king who was given partial immortality. I'm your host, Robert. This is episode 199 of the Watchin It podcast, and with me is Donnell. Today we're talking about the 1996 cult classic, Dragonheart.
Or, after review, the dumbest night to walk the face of the planet.
Yeah. There are so many dumb people in this movie.
Yes. This is one of those movies that I came into like, man, Dragonheart, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And after watching it, I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I was just like, Bowen is the dumbest person in this thing and kind of the cause of almost all the problems. I'm like, you take Bowen out of this movie and this... no, you take Bowen out of this movie. This movie is a lot more. I mean, it comes really. I'm assuming the Queen would get rulership, and the movie starts with the two evilest people basically dying. Like the movie starts with the two villains, both on their deathbeds, and would all be said and done in the first 10 minutes of the movie. I mean, yes, there is no movie there. I get that. I'm just saying the movie starts with an ending where it's like, and everyone lived happily ever after. And then it's like, and then Bowen shows up and like, and now we're all fucked.
I mean, well, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
Let's not jump the script too far.
I know.
Came out May 31st, 1996. Had a budget of $57 million. Made $115 million.
Okay.
Sounds like a success to me in 1996. Has a 6.4 on IMDb. Yeah, I feel that's a little high. I don't think this movie aged too well for me.
No. Some of the CGI was interesting. Like I said, looking at the characters in hindsight, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? No, I agree with that. Just real quick, I'm going to interject with, I have an interesting relationship with this movie or history of this movie because I like I said, I did like it.
I loved this movie when I was a kid.
And all that. But I also regularly confused it with Reign of Fire and Braveheart. So there was a lot of times Braveheart just because the names were similar. Okay. Dragonheart, Braveheart, and Reign of Fire because they both were about dragons. So there's lots of times where people are like Dragonheart. I'm like, yeah, that Kristen Bell movie where the post-apocalypse, and they're like, what?
Reign of Fire is a fantastic movie, man.
Yeah, and I spend a lot of time confused. I'd be like, yeah, Mel Gibson, right? And they're like, no, Mel Gibson. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. They're like Sean Connery. I'm like, why would Sean Connery be fighting for? I was just like, yeah, it was just one of those things. That's like, no, I think you're wrong. And it's.
I could, if Sean Connery was still working at the time, I could see him showing up in both of those movies.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was a 5-movie franchise.
Yes, that was the other thing that I came across. As far as I knew, Dragonheart came, it did its thing, and it was done. I had no idea there was a sequel and 3 prequels.
Yep, as well as a video game. I mean, it's a whole thing.
It definitely 5-movie franchise, but it's definitely one of the movies where it's like a movie and then a bunch of straight to VHS.
Yeah,
with no returning cast in any of the other movies. I mean, at least Trimmer was able to get what's his face back for for the second one. Yeah.
All right. So from director Rob Cohen, Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story, The Running Man, The Witches of Eastwick, The Legend of Billie Jean, and The Fast and the Furious.
Along with
this is kind of a mix of producing and directing in there for that.
Along with Triple X and the one that I love because this is one of the most worst. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to walk back. Some of his stuff, like The Legend of Bruce Lee and that stuff. What was the other one? You said The
Running Man.
Oh yeah, The Running Man. I'm like, those are some like stand-up movies. But then he also directed. Luckily, he didn't write, so he gets a pass on that. But directed the movie Stealth. Did you ever see Stealth?
I did see Stealth. It is pretty bad.
It's a hot dumpster fire.
It is pretty bad. There's some stinkers in this guy's catalog.
Yeah,
for sure.
This guy, like he's had some hits. He has also had some really bad movies.
Had 2 writers. The first one is Patrick Reed Johnson. He has really done nothing except these movies, and he did a cult classic called Spaced Invaders.
Oh yeah,
which is something we could probably check out someday when we're really digging. If we're like we're gonna do like a series of camp movies.
Yeah,
Spaced Invaders has got to be
We
in.
should definitely do some camp movies. But real quick though, you just said besides these movies, so was Mr. Patrick involved in the?
Oh,
the
you know what? Maybe
sequels
I'm
and
thinking of
stuff?
the next guy. Sorry.
No, I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he hasn't really done much.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a household name. Next, we have Charles Edward Pogue, I'm going to say.
Okay.
He did The Fly.
Yep.
And
yep.
then all of the movies for the Dragonheart series. Nothing exciting there.
Nothing exciting. Hey, The Fly. I mean, that's at least something good credit to have one.
Well, I should say Patrick Reed Johnson, he did a lot of visual effects stuff and whatnot. So that's kind of where he comes from. I don't know how he got into writing a couple of interesting movies.
I was about to say I saw this, but then I see it was in reverse. Because I was about to say, he also wrote the novel Dragonheart. But it was a novel based off of his screenplay. Yeah. So it wasn't like he wrote that novel, but made into a movie. There was a movie, and then he was like, I'm going to write a book about this after the fact.
A lot of actors in this. Dennis Quaid.
Yep.
He has a big list. If you want to hear us talk more about Dennis Quaid, go listen to our episode on Enemy Mine.
Yep.
Which we covered. Sean Connery. Don't have time to go into Sean Connery. Yeah. He's just prolific.
The only thing I want to...
But I can't say that word.
Now, I
prolific.
Prolific. I was coming so confident, too. Yeah. I was like, I got this. I got your back, Robert.
Yeah.
And then
He died in 2020 at the age of 90.
Yep.
I didn't realize.
Died in the Bahamas. So, if you're gonna die somewhere.
Look, I'm not. My understanding from what I looked at is his last years were probably not great. He had some dementia or something. But, he probably had a pretty smooth retirement after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That was the only thing I was going to bring up is just that. He just went out and just he stuck to it too.
Yeah.
He
did do a couple of voice acting roles, and he also did some production of some documentary stuff or something. He had a little bit of his hands were out there doing some things, but he wasn't really super active.
He did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and it just ruined his taste.
And
acting.
I don't know why. I don't think League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is that bad.
The worst movie.
Maybe that's something we should cover as well, because I don't think it's terrible.
I would be down. Yeah, no, I remember watching it and being
I could definitely see if I'm Sean Connery and that gravitas, he might be like, this is a low point.
And maybe. Oh no, there's only freaking 9 years, or maybe 9 years changed a lot. Because I'm gonna say, I felt when I started watching this, because as a kid I did not realize it was Sean Connery doing the voice. Yeah. And so seeing him now, and I'm like, wait a sec, Sean Connery, the man who after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, who was like, I'm out, voluntarily stepped in to be this goofy dragon, and I was just like,
and look, I love the movie Entrapment as much as the next person, but it's crap compared to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, in my opinion. Anyway, Dina Meyer. Starship Troopers, of course. The Saw series, Johnny Mnemonic, another movie that we should cover, Johnny Mnemonic. And she was briefly in The Magicians for a few episodes. By the way, no supernatural connections that I could find.
I think I'm going to add that to the list of whenever we have a movie, is this before we dive in, David, be like, we got any supernatural connections?
I'm going to have trouble saying this last name because it's just kind of weird. Pete Postlethwaite.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Plays the poet guy, the monk guy, in The Usual Suspects, Lost World, Jurassic Park, which we covered with Rotten Treasures, and Alien 3. He's a prolific actor as well. Just been in a ton of stuff. Unfortunately, left us in 2011 at the age of 64 of cancer.
Damn.
Yeah, very sad. That's why I haven't seen him anything in a long time. Yeah. David Thewlis.
Yes,
I love very young. All of these actors, I think, are very
all of them
young.
are very young, but it's like Dennis Quaid. I'm like,
he always kind of looked the same for a long time.
I'm like, that's Dennis Quaid. I went into it and stuff. But yeah, I was like, who? Because one thing I noted when I watched it, I was like, whoever was playing, and then I looked it up, was David Thewlis. I was like, whoever's playing the Prince/King is very good at
overacting this
being
role,
very creepy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is a creepy motherfucker, and I'm like, oh, it's David Thewlis. So I was like, David Thewlis.
You almost don't recognize.
You are a creepy motherfucker in this movie.
Some notable works of his: he was most recently in the Sandman series. He was in Wonder Woman. Where he played Ares. He's all over Harry Potter, which I don't really remember because I blocked Harry Potter out of my head, even though I saw all of them. And a very favorite movie of mine, 7 Years in Tibet. Fantastic film.
He was also in Red 2, which we covered Red. Maybe one day we'll cover Red 2.
Yeah, he has a very minor role in that as the frog.
Yep. And then last but not least, he's going to be in both of the upcoming Avatar sequels.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to play a bad guy, right?
I don't know. It just says he's playing Pelak.
Okay.
Pelak sounds like a bad guy name.
That does sound like a bad name.
Yeah, I feel like Pelak's a bad guy.
And in minor roles, Brian Thompson, who most people probably won't know, but an action movie star, and Jason Isaacs.
Jason, wait.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs.
What was he doing?
He's kind of the suck up, brown nosing.
He was the brown noser?
Yeah.
I was looking at that guy and I was like, I know that guy, but I could not place him.
That's Jason Isaacs.
Oh, I did not even. Okay. Wow. Did not even. I knew him. I just was looking at this like, I know that face. I just can't place it anywhere. But okay.
I know, what a role. This is before the Jason Isaacs.
I mean, yeah, this is. I pulled up his
his
filmography, and I'm like, this was his fourth movie he was ever in.
Yeah,
and this is only his second movie with an official name because in his first movie he was Doctor 2, and his second movie was Market Trader, and then he became Harry, and then finally Lord Felton. So it's like, this is his second movie with an actual character name, and his fourth movie total. So this is before he was known. I want to circle back real quick though to our boy David Ellis, because I just was looking at his filmography, and at the bottom here he's going to be, and I'm like, I wonder how. I'm trying to picture it in my head. It works. He's going to be in a new series called Sherlock and Daughter. Don't know what that means, but he's going to be Sherlock.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I think he could do something with that.
I wonder what his flaws will be for this. Remember how we talked about that only the original owner of Sherlock can make how they copyright it. Yeah, cover it.
So he's gonna be a dick.
Yeah, he has to be a dick. Like, he can't not be a dick. The only nice Sherlock is the original Sherlock. Every other Sherlock has to be a dick in order to be made.
I'm surprised you didn't mention that he's also a prominent role in The Artful Dodger, which you.
He's Fagin actually. I totally spaced my mind there, but he is Fagin.
So as always, I like to go back and forward around the time this came out and see what came out. This is a hard movie to place because I don't know if this wasn't for little kids because it's too dark in places. There's like a very rapey scene in one of them, but I just really don't know what to say this is up against. Really. Yeah, you know what was it competing with for your dollars? But definitely this movie, April 26, 1996, a month before The Quest. Jean-Claude Van Damme, one of his greatest movies. Fantastic film. I love it. I'll watch it again to this day. Just great, where they try and steal a giant golden dragon with an air balloon. It's just a fantastic movie. That definitely would have been competing with the Dragonheart. Right. May 3rd, The Craft. Not really competing with it, but a big movie at the time. May 10th, Twister. Ooh, I can't wait for Twisters. I hope it's good.
I'm really.
I don't know how you're gonna really capture that Twister energy.
Yeah,
you know, Bill Paxton's not around. Philip Seymour Hoffman's not around. No. Like, you just, not getting in there.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Big one, May 22nd. Mission Impossible, the first one. Yeah. Huge movie. Yeah. Who knew that was going to spawn, a giant franchise that was going to last for 30 years.
Mission Impossible and Fast and the Furious, 2 film franchises that after the first one, I was like, cool, and walked away not knowing that, oh no, they're making a shit ton more. Like, both those franchises.
I'm surprised they made it to the 4th one after the 2nd and 3rd one. Yeah. They were trash.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, but
I was about to say, I guess when you have freaking Tom Cruise being like, I need to make another movie so I can do something crazy.
Stop that. Here we go. Getting into some stuff we know. The Rock on June 7th.
Okay. Wait.
The Rock.
So
Sean Connery.
Double Sean Connery feature. Okay. All right.
I mean, how many lines does he really have as the dragon in this? Like,
the dragon talks a fair amount.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I don't think it was a big stretch.
Yeah.
To do these two.
Just he's not doing any stunt work in this one or anything. I mean, he's just sitting in a chair talking.
He could do this in
talking
the evening.
Down voice cast world. I'm just saying it's not the same as doing 2 movies that involve you physically being there at the same time. Yeah.
June 14th, The Cable Guy.
Okay.
Big
okay.
movie. Big movie.
Big movie. Not the same crowd. I don't think. Because like this is a weird movie to place,
It
but
is a
I
weird
still
movie to
feel
place,
like
yeah.
not the same crowd.
But I mean, you always got to think like from the parent perspective.
Yeah.
If they're big movie goers, are they going out on their own?
But on the
Or
other side of
day
the
night, are
coin,
they taking the kid? You know,
the other side of the coin, the parent perspective might be another reason why I think Dragonheart wouldn't compete with that. Is for a lot of parents, mine included, like the Cable Guy was too much for young me. My mom wouldn't want me to see Cable Guy, but I feel like Dragonheart is entertaining.
I've never met your mother, but from what I've gleaned, a little soft around. I don't know how to say it, but like she probably didn't let you watch a lot of R-rated movies.
Oh no, I
wasn't into a lot of R-rated movies.
I didn't see I didn't ended up. It's my whole thing of why. Oh, never mind. I didn't end up seeing my first R-rated movie until I was like 18, and I didn't get to see The Matrix until I was old enough to see like all my friends went and told me, oh, it's awesome. I was like, oh man, that sounds cool. They're in a computer, man. What's that like? And I just had to wait.
So here's another one. June 21st, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
The Disney one, right?
The Disney one. Huge movie.
This would compete.
I feel like The Hunchback of Notre Dame is almost too young.
Well, no, but I feel like Disney movies for a long time have been kind of
fair enough. Yeah,
just from really young, but loosely, I'd say even up. Like, because I feel like this movie is like it's a weird. I'd say like this. This sounds weird. This is a tween movie.
Yeah,
like
it is a
you're
tween
not
movie.
a full teenager, but you're definitely not a kid. But I also feel like tweens.
It's also not aggressive enough for a tween movie.
I was about to say tweens also go and see Disney movies. So I'm like, this would be compete.
And then of course, a full month after this came out, July 3rd, 1996, Independence Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it probably had its run by then. I don't think it was still
movie. I mean, that thing is movies, because that's one thing I always hated is movies were in theaters for a lot less time back in those days.
I feel like they were in longer.
Well, I guess it depends. I felt like usually you get like a month and a half of the movie in theaters, and then because I just always remember that's what I hated as a kid is if you missed a movie in theaters.
Oh, it was forever before it got to tape.
You're just like, when's that? Or if you saw the movie, but just like, oh, I love that movie. I can't wait to see it again. And it's like, okay, well, it's going to be, half a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's glorious now. A movie gets into theater 6 weeks. It's on streaming or somewhere. Like
sometimes it's the same freaking day.
Yeah, or within a couple of weeks. I distinctly remember. Maybe this is just headcanon. Like maybe this is just me not remembering. But it felt like when Jurassic Park, the first one, came out, I felt like it was in the theaters for like 2 years.
It was. I know it had a long run, but that's because it was such a big movie.
Yeah.
But no, I know it had a long. I don't think 2 years, but it definitely was a good couple of months. Like I'd almost say not at least 9 months. Where it's just like no, you.
I mean, everything felt longer as a kid.
That is also true.
Now I'm on the other side of that. I'm like, oh, that's. It's like, oh, that movie just came out, and I can watch it at home.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break there, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the plot of this movie and all the stupid people in it.
All right, let's dig into the tale of dumb nights for Bowman. This is this was something else coming back to this movie. I mean,
I can't remember the last time I've seen it.
That's what I was about to say. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Yeah, like I said, it was interesting coming back. I mean, we start off right off the bat. We got our knight Bowen, and I forgot how to say the freaking prince's name. Is it not Ethan? It's like
Enan.
That's right. Yeah. Doing some practice sword fights up there, and we got a classic trope of when like one person is more skilled than the other, where he's pouring himself a cup and all that stuff,
just destroying him. Yeah.
Whenever that trope comes up, I'm like, okay, I get you're better, but let's just say like one is like because Einen is going all out, and I'm like, let's just say he slips past your guard, like you are going to get destroyed. I get you're better than him.
Swords at least, but
you're going to get clocked in the head with a wooden sword. You're gonna feel that. And whenever I see that trope, I'm like, I want them to want to just have like, I'm not saying you're not better, but you should still when fighting, you should always be on your guard and stuff.
He's just messing with this kid.
Yeah.
He's sort of giving him pointers and stuff like that, but no, he's just kind of
not really
just screwing with him, right? And I'm like, this is how you make a villain.
Yep.
This is how you make a villain.
You don't take exactly how.
Yeah, you just treat him like a child and make fun of him and whatnot. But I do like that they kind of reverse the trope where it's like fight with your head, not with your heart.
Yeah. which is, I mean,
is something that Bowen ignores later in the movie completely.
Yes, 100%. He does not heed his own advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we basically get introduced to the world where Iden is the prince. Bowen is somehow, what I would really like to know how this came about. Bowen is somehow like the knight in charge of training him and mentoring him, which I don't know how once you realize who Enan's father is and how he sees things. Enan's father. I'm just like, how did this come about?
Yeah. Because he was making too much of a ruckus, so they just shoved him into this role. Probably the mother had something. The queen had something.
The mother better have, because my thing, especially that's one thing I wrote down about both Inan and his father. Are they the kinds, and that's why I don't understand how certain people live that long. Is like, honestly, I feel like, if the mother didn't have something to do, I feel like he should have. If Bowen was making too much noise, the father would be like, kill him. Like, that's my thing. So I'm like, that was my big thing. Like, why would he make Bowen his son's like protector? I just feel like a father would be like, this guy's,
because he's supposed to be like the best knight in the realm or something like that.
Best knight in the realm and still be killed by 5 good knights. So I'm just saying, I just don't see why he's not dead. But maybe the mother spoke up.
So another knight guy shows up and is like, hey, you got to come watch this battle that's happening because there's a peasant rebellion going on, and the king is leading the troops into battle. Stupid man.
Yeah.
And so they go to watch it, and the Bowen's just like, no, don't get involved in this. They're watching it from the sidelines.
Good.
Whatever.
One thing that I put down, because, and this is just, even though this is a fantasy movie and stuff, it still plays into history of like, I'm just amazed by how casual death was in historical times, because you can hear all sorts of stories of people just like watching a battle across the river. Like, war has always been a gruesome affair. Probably more so when you have to get up close and personal. And just thinking about someone like, hey, look, there's 2 men over there slaughtering each other. Get the kids, let's watch.
That's right.
Just like,
or like taking them to like a hanging or something.
Yeah, like death is just so much more of a casual thing.
So they never really say what era this is. But this is
some sort of middle
Saxony times. So this is like England, right? But it's in England. So this would be a time where like, oh, you're a peasant, you're gonna have 12 kids and 9 of them will die. Before they're 10. It's
exactly.
Just like
if you're fighting this peasant uprising, that means you were the lucky ones of these peasants, because your brothers and siblings didn't even make it to adult to fight in this uprising.
So they charge this village, right? That's not ill prepared for an attack from regiment cavalry, you know. But the king, you don't go into battle as the king.
No.
Maybe in Saxony times this was different, but
I
would just, you sit back.
There's stories and stuff, and so maybe it was more, because I do think that was the thing, is the king was always supposed to be shown as, a leader, and also supposed to be shown as like, the bravest of the brave. Like, if the king's not willing to fight the battle, why would his knight follow him? So I kind of get that, but also I'm like, still, there's an initial charge, have all that stuff. You come in for like cleanup duty. You're like, once the rebellion is pretty much wrapped up, then you can ride in on your horse and stab a few peasants real quick. Make an appearance.
I was there.
You don't show up in the first charge or none of that. That's whoa.
But then he does the dumbest thing ever. He goes and isolates himself in a part of the village without any troops around him.
Exactly what you should do as a king.
And he gets ambushed. I'm like, well, he deserves this. He just made a stupid move.
Like there's not he's about to die. So if you there's not much of the king in this movie, but just this one scene that you go, oh, this nation was being ruled by an idiot. Like, just this one thing. But so he gets ambushed and he dies, and that stirs Iwan into like, oh my, you think originally it's, oh, my father's dying, I gotta save him. It is not. That is not his intent.
Well, wait, before we get to that, I love how nonchalant the killing of the king was. They pull him off his horse, they stab him a bunch of times, and they're like, okay, let's go to the other battle. There's no like big cheers, like the battle's won. No, it's like, we got other fish to fry.
I mean, hey, the knights are still raiding and torching your village. You can't be like, hey. I mean, But I goes to his father and like, oh, it must be, he's worried about his father, but nope, it's just to get the crown, and just to get the crown, and his father isn't dead.
Yep.
Rising the camera, and that's just where you see that Einen is no better than his father when it comes to corruption, because he's like, no, it's mine.
Yeah,
Why won't you just die?
dude. Yeah.
I'm just like, damn. I mean, if he was dead, I get it. You get in the crown because that's what you got to do.
By the way, none of the peasants were going to grab this piece of gold off the top of his head?
I mean, maybe they saw as he picked that up, you pretty much guaranteed
putting a target on your back or something.
To get murdered. Like, the knights aren't going to just leave the village and let you have that. But yeah, so he grabs the crown, and this is where we get introduced to one of our other leads. Kara is her name.
Yep.
And she comes stumbling out with a bucket on her head.
So this is a different actress, though. This is the young version.
This is the young version, yes. She comes stumbling out with a bucket on her head and knocks into the back of Prince Einen, and he just... Why is everything sharp in the old day? Like, why would you have these sharp posts sticking out of the side of your building? Wouldn't you saw that off?
There's no building code.
I just feel like common sense says, hey, I mean, we see, like, even though this is during a battle, we see how easy it is for someone to bump into you and you get your chest punctured. I feel like you would just think, oh, maybe, we have wild animals, cows coming through here. They might buck or something while you're standing here. And, Phil's dead. Like, I just, you got saws. You obviously have saws. You cut the logs to begin with. You just saw that off. Nice flat edge.
Yeah. By the way, the young Kara is played by Sandra Kova.
Okay.
Only thing she ever did.
I mean, yeah, a lot of young roles were like that back in the day.
Yep.
Before we were really harping in and gotta have the child stars. Gotta go out there. But yeah, so she knocks into Einen and he gets his chest punctured. And as I was saying before we dove into this, right here, bam, movie's done. But the evil king's dead, evil prince is dead, and we see later in the movie, Queen, pretty good chick.
Yeah.
Pretty good chick. So I'm just like, honestly, bam, movie's done. Like,
married a jerk, but
both of them. She makes it sound like it wasn't her choice when she frees her. She says, "I don't want you to be trapped like me."
Yeah.
So I imagine it wasn't her choice. But yeah, I'm just like I said, I was like, this movie has turned around instantly if Bowen doesn't rush in to save the prince. He just let that be that.
Yeah.
And bing, bam, boo, everybody lives happily. The queen rises to power. She quells the rebellion by being good and ruler, and everybody's happy, and everything moves on, and dragons are restored to because it sounded like dragons at one point, which we find out were like a part of the part of the culture. So dragons are restored to their title. Everybody's happy, but instead, Bowen rushes into the aid of his prince, who he cannot see, even though the prince does, even in just the beginning, does enough things to be like, yeah, he's not a good dude, but he cannot see this, and he thinks the prince is going to be, he's going to be great king, he's going to be good.
Because the prince been lying to him this whole time, making him think he cares about this old code,
I guess,
which is like the dumbest thing ever.
The old code is dumb, but even if the prince is lying, he ain't that good at it, and he seems, I mean, the way he's gleeful about, the battle with the peasants, and he's like, no, you don't want any part of that. It's like, he made it very clear, and he's smiling. Like, he's not even, like, concerned. He's smiling about it. Come on, Bowen. What do you think you think he's... Just look at all his role models beside you.
Yeah.
If everybody beside you is evil, and he spends just as much time with them as he does you, where do you think is you or the rest of his... But anyways, yeah.
So anyway, he grabs him, takes him to the castle. Mm-hmm. The queen, he's dying.
Yep.
Queen's like, there's a way we can save him.
Yes.
Let's take him to the dragon. The dragon can save him, right? So they go to the dragon thing. And that's when we find out that, like, the king's a dragon slayer.
Yeah.
But she's from the Celts, and they have a strong connection with the dragons and whatnot. And they make the kid... The dragon's like, okay, I got to assess this situation. Mm-hmm. I think this is where the movie should have gone a different direction.
All right.
The dragon should have let the kid die. That's when Bowen swears to kill all the dragons.
Yeah.
Because they refuse to help this kid.
Yes.
And then you just skip over an entire chunk of this movie, which is unnecessary.
Yes,
which is the kid being immortal and evil and all that stuff.
Also, my other question is, as you have hinted on, this is probably around Saxton time. And I mean, I just think about in today's day, if right now, I don't know where the closest hospital is to your place, Robert, from here. Yeah. But if right now my chest was punctured, big old hole right through my heart, my odds of survival would be pretty slim to nil. Even though even if you got on the phone, called 911, ambulance is coming, and all that stuff. I'm not saying we couldn't. Like, yes, with modern medicine, there's a chance, but like, it's not that possibility. How did they keep this kid alive long enough? Because he had I don't know where the battlefield is in relation to the castle, but I'm assuming it's not next door. Most castles aren't right next to the peasantry and stuff. And he rode all the way to the castle, and then they ride all the way to this cave, which once again, I'm assuming is also not right next door to the castle. And the whole time I'm like, how? Like I said, my chances of survival in the modern age with modern medicine and an ambulance that's prepared for this, not a horse jostling me around all over the place. My odds of survival with a giant puncture wound in my chest are slim to nil. How did middle-aged boy make it to this? I get that magic saved him in the end, but how did he survive long enough for magic to do its thing?
Yeah, for sure.
2 horse rides? Come on. Anyways. He does the dragon basically makes him swear an oath that he'll be a good king, which he does, but we all know this isn't going anywhere. And the dragon, I mean, here's where, I mean, and I get, like you said, maybe it would be a different movie, but where Bowen's a dragon slayer because the dragon's going to save him. But I feel like imbuing somebody with immortality that you don't know anything about, even if they swear oath, like you've known this kid.
Well, I mean, is he immortal? Is the dragon immortal?
Well,
does the dragon live forever?
I don't know. Or
can it die of old age?
I don't know.
I'm assuming it lives a long time.
All I know is he may not be immortal, but he's going to be around a lot longer than most people.
Yeah.
And so my thing is just, I'm just like, giving somebody, even long life is a huge benefit. Giving anybody just long life just off of like, hey, you going to be a good person? All right. Sign off. I'm just like, what? Dragon.
Yeah.
What? You can't just be in
Well, so the dragon was like trying to... Because he wants to become one of the stars, right? So he's like, this is my opportunity. He's desperate too.
I guess.
The dragon is not pure in this situation.
No,
he's taking advantage of the situation.
He's taking advantage of the situation, but still, I'm just like, handing out immortality just to any old dude who runs in there to your kid. I know he's dying, but there's still a part of me that's like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is... I mean, even if we didn't hear, like I said, no one heard when he told his father to die, so we don't know about that. But even just that whole thing of like, well, he willingly charged into a battle that was literally just slaughtering peasants. Like that was the whole point, and seemed to be willing to partake in that. I mean, even this that I just feel like that the prerequisite be like, maybe we should give this guy immortality. Just don't think he just had that out.
So he did his first act. Now that he's king, is that he's going to rebuild this old Roman castle, right? By the way, this kingdom is not. He's like they're supposed to be the king of England or something. This is not.
It's
good.
Not doing great. It's
pitiful.
Yeah.
It's pitiful.
Yes, 100%.
But anyway, he starts rebuilding the castle.
Besides
Bowen comes along and is like,
peasants.
all the ones that were in the uprising, the ones that killed his
father
father and stuff like that.
They're weird. I don't know. Not handcuffs, but what's another word for like restraints?
Stockades.
Yeah, where they only have one, like they're 3 tied together, and technically only 2 of them can work. I'm like, this is very inefficient. I'm like, I know you're punishing them, but like, your castle's going to take 10 times as long if for every 3 men you get 2 hands. Like this is.
I don't think he cares how long it takes. It's about the pain.
I guess, but I'm just like saying, this is inefficient. There's a reason your kingdom's in disrepair.
But Bowen comes to try to stop him.
Yep.
He, gets swatted down by the king. Not
really. And that's where I'm just like, once again, as I already said about the father, I also say about the son, because we see how easily he turns to evil. Why is Bowen not dead here?
Yeah.
He literally frees the slaves that he wants to keep, attacks one of his guards, drags the king to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dead man. And it's like, nope, they just let him leave. I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are you evil or not? It's time.
Hey, it's not so easy for Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader to kill Obi-Wan at first,
I guess.
That's a build up to it. And whatnot.
Guess.
But anyway, Bowen is like the dragon is responsible. He's darkened the heart of this kid, and he goes and he swears that he's going to hunt down all the dragons. Yes. I'm assuming that this dragon has bounced.
Yeah, like, I mean, he does go to the dragon's cave and yell out, so I'm assuming the dragon's not there. But my question, once again, for Bowen, and why he's one of the dumbest men ever walked, because, like, why would the dragon imbuing immortality onto somebody, right before he does it, before he decides to do it, make the person swear an oath of nobility
it's all
and
part
to
of the
be
treachery,
good,
Donnell.
And to be good, just to corrupt them to be evil. I'm just like,
it's all part of the trickery,
I guess, but I mean, it's not like I'm just like, come on, Bowen, come on. Why would it be that? Just admit that it's a shitty kid. Just admit that it's a shitty kid, and you couldn't make him a good person. But no, it's the dragon's fault.
But fast forward 12 years later.
Yep.
By the way, I feel like this movie just ends because you just camp out and wait for that dragon to come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't got to spend 12 years hunting other dragons.
Maybe the dragon heard him make his proclamation, but once again, that's another thing of don't just in general. This has nothing to do with just this movie. It has to do with almost any villain or hero, because as we see in this, Bowen is technically the hero and stuff. Anybody, don't announce your intentions to your enemies. Just do what you're going to do. Like if you're swearing revenge or you're swearing to kill someone, just do it. There's no reason to be like, I'm going to kill you. Then they know. Now they can get ready.
Yep.
Just do it. Like Nike.
But we pick up with the poet riding on his horse.
Donkey.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, and then a dragon flies overhead, scares the donkey, and the poet falls off and stuff. And then Bowen comes riding up. And they go over a hill, off-screen dragon fight.
Yes. There is a lot of off-screen dragon fighting.
Yeah. They took a very long time to show us the dragon in all its splendor.
Yes.
They're like, we're saving this budget.
We only got so much CGI Sean Connery dragon we could do.
So let's talk about the CGI.
Yes.
Not terrible.
No.
But not great.
The worst offense for me is during, and like I said, I mean, in some ways also it shows that they realized, I mean, I don't know what would look worse, but all I know is when we do finally get a dragon fight, we decide because the dragon and the human are interacting, well, we're just going to do both of them with CGI. And that's when things got really wonky, when it was CGI dragon fighting CGI Dennis Quaid, and I was like, whoa.
The good and the bad.
Yes.
The good, they did some... I'll do the bad first.
Okay.
The dragon changed size so many times throughout
Sometimes
this movie.
He is...
Like twice the size of a horse.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Sometimes he's the size of a house.
Yeah, They just could not like dial it in of what a dragon size is supposed to be. I mean, maybe that's the power of a dragon, Robert. Maybe that's something that's fantasy world. They can change size. They can change colors, because at one point he's looking like a rock that the poet's sitting on.
Yeah.
So
the good, they did do quite a bit of practical effects in this, and I thought
when he's fighting the dragon tail, they use
or when he's in the mouth. And stuff like that, and the claw and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's several scenes where they're doing practical effects, and I thought that they're doing a mixture of practical and CGI at the same time, and I thought they married very well, and it was very smooth. I mean, this is still 1996.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I'm not hitting them too hard for it, but I just feel like I said, my biggest thing was like when they did the human CGI, it just really pointed out like how much this is not ready. But so we find out that Bowen has become a dragon slayer, riding around killing dragons. The dragon that we saw like for this off-screen fight is not Draco, which is our main dragon, our Sean Connery dragon.
Dumbass name.
Yep, dumbass name. I mean, they do kind of poke fun at it where he's like, stop calling me dragon. And he's like, oh, I'll call you Draco. Draco is dragon in this other language. Like, so you're just going to call me dragon still? And I'm like, hey, at least they kind of are, they make them conscious about it. But so it's not our main dragon, it's just another dragon. And apparently he's just been for 12 years just roaming around killing dragons. Yeah. And I'm just like, I guess, like I said, well, the thing is, so we know that the king is a dragon slayer, a dragon slayer. He's a dragon slayer. It makes it sound like there's other dragon slayers. We know that there was at least one other ones, because
like 3
he
or
was
4
eaten.
of them or whatever.
And we see some other ones. So my thing is like, but they never make it 100% clear, like, because the dragons seem intelligent. Or we're not seeing.
Yeah.
We see
they
seem
are intelligent.
Seem like you could, talk things out. So even if it's like the dragon are eating our sheep, I feel like you'd be like, hey.
Yeah.
Can you stop that? And so they never make it 100% clear, like, hey, what's up with all the dragon hate?
Yeah.
Like, where we got to, like, literally, like, sure, Bowen has a good enough excuse of, like, he, in Bowen's mind, he's responsible for the evil king. But I'm like, okay, Bowen aside, there's been other dragon slayers.
Yeah, trophies.
I guess, just trophies.
Meat, apparently.
Scales,
bones.
I just feel like, and like I said, this is, I guess you could say this back in the age of, adventure and questioning, making your name with honor. But still, like, I feel like there's easier trophies and easier meat than something that can breathe fire and literally eat me in 2 bites.
Yeah. So I don't know the monetary value of a sack of gold, right? But Bowen has killed what, a dozen, maybe 2 dozen dragons. It seems like.
Yep.
To me, he'd be rich.
Should be.
He'd be doing.
But we
very
see
well.
that sometimes he doesn't get paid. And so maybe this has been happening before. I don't know.
Well, okay, yeah. So this guy's like, "Oh, we're not paying you,"
Mhm.
and where they're clearly in Einan's territory. It's
Yeah.
not like this must be all in the same area
Yeah.
that he's doing it, which begs the question of why don't the dragons just fly away once they're getting slaughtered one right after the
Yeah.
other?
Yeah.
Just leave.
There,
This is hostile
I have a lot
territory.
of questions about the dragons because, like, I'm just like, yeah, it just was like one is like, you're a dragon, you can fly and shoot fire.
Yeah.
How is anyone killing? Just
We never see him kill.
just
The only
napalm
dragon we ever
everybody.
see killed is
Yeah.
one that's wanting to be killed.
Yep.
I want to know how he defeats these dragons.
Yeah, I really need to see because I'm just like, you're bigger, stronger, faster. You
Yeah.
can fly, you can shoot fire, and the ingenious weapons we see are not that complicated or stuff.
Just
I mean,
hoping the
when,
dragon flies
when
directly
Bowen
at
fights
you.
with
Yeah.
Draco, he really seems outpaced and outbumbling. The thing
Yeah.
I wrote down is like, I wrote that in my notes. I was like, are all other dragons besides Draco like just morons? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Like the red dragon race
I
died
mean,
off
see, I
because
see it
Draco
as-
was like a rare specimen of smart, and most dragons are like dumber than dirt.
Yeah, I see it as Draco is not really trying.
Yeah,
Because he
he's
would just
not-
immediately slaughter this man.
Yeah, and he even proved
Sword or
that.
nothing.
He
like,
proved
yeah.
that like when they're in a stalemate for a while when they're fighting, where he's piercing his mouth and could kill him, but then he'll eat him and stuff. And then he literally proves that he could have gotten out of it at any time.
Yeah.
Like when he won't agree to a truce, he's like, fine. He just kicks him out of the mouth and slams him to the ground. It's like, yeah, he was doing that stalemate for you. So they make it very clear that, yeah, Draco, in this battle of him versus the dragon, 1 out of 1,000 times
Yeah.
does Bowen come out on
Yeah.
top. So
And it only takes one hit to cripple him.
Yeah.
To cripple the guy.
instantly.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I really
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. With the
maybe
dragon
I mean
stuff.
we and maybe the prequels aren't so much a prequel. Maybe they're like midquels of the first movie, because maybe that's what the prequels is about. It's about Bowen going around killing dragons.
It'd
and we
have
could
to be. It'd
we
have to
could
be, yeah.
see like how, because I would love to know how.
So this group that hired him to kill the dragon refuses to pay him. I'm like, just kill them.
Yeah. And
Kill
he just-
them immediately.
He just
Yeah.
basically
We had a deal.
accepts it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, give me the money. And they're like, no, and like he literally just like, okay, and leave. Like that's it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, why is anybody?
And
paying
this is like one of the king's right hand men. He would know who Bowen was.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a weird thing because he talks down about the king at this point, because Bowen is very anti-king at this point, even though he won't admit that the king is just evil because he's evil. But still, anyways, he's very anti-king, and I'm just like, once again, how are you still alive? How are you?
Yeah.
How is Einan or whatever his name not dispatched a group of men to kill you?
Yeah.
Because you're causing trouble. Like I just don't get how he lived for 12 years.
So Bowen mentions the road tax idea
Yes.
to this lackey guy, and the lackey
Right.
takes it to the king, and the king's like, "Oh, you're so smart. How did you come up with these ideas?" I'm like, "Who? You're an evil king. You didn't come
Yeah.
up with this before.
Yeah,
Road
and then-
tax is like an obvious choice."
Like, how evil are you if you can't figure out how to tax the roads, man? But yeah, King basically gets the idea. Basically, Bowen is continuing to make. As I've said, he made things worse from the get go, and he continues to make things worse by dropping terrible ideas or good ideas, however you want to look at it, in the king's ear by proxy. By being like, "Oh, you should tax the road," and all of a sudden the guy's like, "Hey, we should tax the road." Like, Bowen, shut the fuck up.
Anyway, we're fast forward. We're at the quarry
Yep.
where Einan's doing some hunting. By hunting, he's killing people
Yep.
just nonchalantly. And Kara shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Hair way too nice.
No, yeah, she's looking good.
She's
She's looking good for a poor peasant girl.
Yeah,
like,
she is
her dress has been pretty. I mean, in good
Yeah.
shape. Her hair looking nice.
I mean, look, she's not one of the slaves,
yeah.
but her
She's
father
her
is
father
one of the slaves.
This is the Middle Ages. I'm not.
This
I'm not
isn't
being
even the
sexist.
mid. This is pre-Middle
Yeah,
Ages.
Women
Yeah.
don't have. This is not my view. This is old time. Women did not have value in this time. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, how? What's
Yeah.
going on? You got the hair. You got the dress. You're looking good. Your father's a slave, so he's not giving you much. You got a brother we don't know about taking care of.
And she's like, I don't know how old the character's supposed to be.
yeah.
But what, 15? Older? 20?
I'd say like between 15
She
and
is
20. She's
married off.
Yeah.
Sold for a cow.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, when she first shows up in this thing, she was like 2 years away from
Yeah.
being married. Let's be honest, for this time. So I'm just
Her
like,
father killed the king.
Mhm.
Like, I hate to say it, her being married off for a cow is the good scenario.
Yeah,
I don't even want to like the reality of what would have happened to this character
Yeah.
if it was the real world at this
Yeah.
time. Dark.
Yeah.
Not great.
No, there's yeah.
Oof. Anyway, she's like, "Oh, let him go. Your castle's
Yeah.
built, blah 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 blah." And he's like, "Okay, I'll let him go. I'm going to release him."
release
and just
him.
kills him.
And hints to, because earlier he made a line about death is a release, not a punishment. So
Yep.
he releases the father, and this gets her stirred to rage that she wants to kill him. But before we get to see that go out, we get to see Bowen track down Draco.
Yep.
And it took a while
With Poet in tow.
By
the way, the
not
poet
willingly.
character, fantastic throughout
Yes.
this whole movie.
Yes.
Just a great comic relief
Mhm.
character. Yeah.
But this is where I'm like, so Bowen's just an idiot, right? Because like he's hunting dragons, looking for the one that corrupted his king.
Yeah.
I had two
Is this like
thoughts.
the same day? Because I'm like, take a day.
Yeah.
You just fought one dragon. Take a day.
I think it's like the next day. But still, my thing is like, it's one of two things. Either A, he is killing dragons indiscriminately because he doesn't remember which dragon did it, which in which case you'll never know, as he eventually hints when he's talking to Draco later. It's like, I guess I'll never kill him, seeing as if you're the last one.
Well,
but then also,
I see it
I'm
as like that's his primary mission.
Yeah,
But that's kind of taking a back seat to now he's just got a job.
I guess. But my other thing is also, I'm just like, how do you not so here's the thing. I said this about both of them, the dragon and Bowen, but then I also give the dragon a little bit of a pass just because like I'm not trying to do the joke here, but like maybe all humans look alike to a dragon.
Yeah.
You can't really differentiate. But I'm like, dude, you were in this dragon's cave. You were talking to him. You heard his voice. And also, how do you not?
Do they all
and
sound the same?
You swore revenge. I feel like if someone came and murdered you right now, Robert, and I was pissed about it and wanted revenge, I would ingrain that person's face in my mind, every detail, so I could hunt them down and murder them. And I don't care if it's 12 years later, like if it's it's a passion for him, or was at one point, it's a passion for him to kill this dragon because he corrupted his king. I'm like, okay, then why did you not make sure you knew everything? You remembered every detail. I would have immediately start writing down everything I knew about this person because I'm like, I'm going to kill this man.
Bowen can't write. He doesn't have the...
Bowen can't remember.
He can't
shit
read
either.
or write at this point, okay? Only the monk can write.
Yeah.
But no, do all dragons sound the same? Because otherwise you're going to remember that smooth Sean Connery voice, okay?
Exactly.
It's very distinctive.
Exactly. I'm just like, how do you not realize right off the bat, or maybe not even right off the bat, but after you've been hanging out with him for a while, I'll be like, wait a sec. Is this the guy? But no. He has no clue. In his mind, it's just another dragon. And they get into a fight.
Let's back up before we get to the dragon fight.
Okay.
The dragon rock.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome concept. That he just like the poet's jumping up on a rock and he's sitting on the dragon's head.
Yes.
Bowen is telling him to shut up and looking directly at him. And the dragon opens his eye.
Yep.
Bowen is a master dragon slayer. He has killed a dozen or 24 of these things.
Yep.
He knows they can turn into rocks.
He should.
And he's looking right at the guy. He's not going to see the dragon-shaped rock with the big eyeball that just opens. This big gold
point
eye, red
I've been
eye
made
on
since
a
the beginning
gray rock.
Is Bowen is an idiot.
He is an idiot.
After watching this movie, I'm like, I think he might be the dumbest man in this movie because I'm just like, this dude is dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets into a fight with a dragon after the rock incident. And this is where he unveils one of his inventions that I have so many questions about.
I hate when they introduce future tech into...
Not just future tech, even the future tech that it's based off of, because he doesn't really. So he pulls out basically a boa, the 3 or however many balls tied on a rope.
A grapple.
Yeah, grapple. Yeah. He opens up a bag on his back. There is no firing mechanism, and he doesn't really throw it. He kind of just gently tosses it in the air, and then it helicopters up to the dragon. Yeah. And I'm like, how? Because that's not how a boa works. You have to get a good amount of momentum, get them things really going, aim them, and fling them. And he does none of that. It just kind of gracefully goes up to the dragon and snares his back foot, which I do ask this question. Now what?
Yeah.
Like, we literally see this. Even his horse gets spooked. But even if the horse doesn't get spooked, I'm like, it's a dragon. You're on a horse. what's the game plan?
Yeah.
You and your horse go dragging through the wood. So when that happened, I'm just like, yeah, cool. You snared the dragon. What now? What the fuck you? What are you gonna do? What the hell are you doing?
By the way, he would be rich from this technology.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. No. I mean that'd be game changing.
I need like the backstory of, did he make this himself or did he get it from some Merlin character?
I was about to say there's had to be a wizard behind it because I don't know how it works.
By the way,
magic.
clearly like magic is a thing here because like they go to Avalon and they talk about Merlin and all that. I'm like, I need more universe in here.
Nope. But yeah, so Bowen gets dragged through the woods because of course he does, and then they end up, as we already hit, in a stalemate where he's in his mouth with a sword in his top of his mouth, and the dragon obviously has him in the mouth, so he's gonna eat him if he sticks his sword in his brain. So stalemate. But like as we already saw, very quickly, dragon could have gotten out of it at any point. Another thing we realized is that Bowen, as I said, that passing that he had right at the window.
Yeah.
Because he's signed to deal with this dragon instantly.
Well, they have a conversation where he's like, I'm the last dragon.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, then I must have already killed the one I was looking for.
No, he doesn't say that. He says someone else because he just like, I guess I never found him. Which I'm like, what?
Why wouldn't you just assume this is the last? This is your guy.
And the other thing, also, and this is going towards the dragon but also the dragon's just trying to survive here. Is he's like, if you kill me, you'll be out of a job. And I'm like, well, if you're the last dragon, if he doesn't kill you, he's still out of a job. And whether you live or die, if you're a dragon slayer and there's one dragon left, if you're not going to kill that dragon, no job. If you are going to kill that dragon, still no job.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not a valid argument of why he shouldn't kill you. I was like, he has no job. He's jobless either way.
By the way, speaking of the last dragon thing and him looking for the one dragon, it's in the same cave.
Yeah. It's in the freaking
never left.
Same region.
Why did you have to go on a 12-year journey of killing dozens of dragons when the guy you wanted was right there?
Just
where you
hanging
left
out.
him.
Just hanging out. I don't know. Because Bowen's an idiot. It's just that simple.
Makes no sense.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the dragon basically, after point out that he has no job after this, he's like, why don't we form a little team? And we run some scams, which once again, going back to, he does kind of say that he doesn't believe in the code anymore, but after the code being such a huge prevalent thing, I'm like, I feel like pulling scams on peasantry is not something that a knight does.
Or a dragon.
or a dragon.
Code,
both of them, I'm like, you guys both being a little
shady
scummy.
business. Yeah.
You both being a little scummy here, folks. Let's be honest.
So we fast forward to a party.
Yep.
They're having.
And this is where we learn that Kara is also an idiot.
That's right, because she tries to kill the king by jumping from a window in the middle of a giant party.
That everyone's focused on him. And this is my thing is, she shows that she has the skills to somehow sneak into this castle, scale a wall, get to this window. It's like, if you have all these skills, there are so many other places you could murder this man. Like I said, you could be like I said originally. You might argue, well, no, he might be in a higher chamber. Like the woman already showed she can scale walls. She already showed she can stealth around and not get caught. So I'm like, if you can get to him in the dining hall, you can get to him in his bedroom where he's alone, sleeping and not awake, where he can see you. So I'm just like, in what world is this? Even if you succeed, and maybe like you said, you're throwing your life away, but still, even if you succeed, it's like, cool, you killed the king in the middle of this castle. You are dead.
Yeah.
Instantly. And I guess if you're okay with that, fine. But why not? Why not? You have the skills somehow.
I would have liked a side story where Einan kills the dad earlier, 12 years prior, and then she has like a montage of 12 years of becoming the ultimate assassin.
Yeah. And then
where she like succeeds at this stage, but he survives because he's got the immortality.
Yeah.
Right. But then that's how she gets captured, is because he doesn't die, so he captures her. That'd be good stuff. Yeah.
This is what stuff we'll pitch in our remake of Dragonheart. No.
This could be a remake. You could do a good remake of this, I think. Yeah.
Yep. But so
never gonna happen.
He sees her in his cup, and hey, Hollywood is a weird place, man. It could happen.
Right.
Hollywood is sometimes desperate for ideas. It could happen. But anyways, he sees her reflection in her cup and stops her from killing him, and is about to instantly kill her. But killing is It's not a good enough punishment as his father was teaching him. So he decides to imprison her, and then we get the tired trope of literally the girl who is trying to kill you, and you killed her father. And technically, and her father killed your father. So a lot of bad blood here, but he's like, oh.
There's a scene later where it's like,
and
you're here with my future wife. I'm like, the lady who's tried to kill you 3 times.
He fought, and he's just like, this is
and
her.
You killed her father,
and I'm just like,
dude.
I'm just like, come on, man, come on. Like, you're the king. Once again, I'm not rooting for this because he's an evil bastard and doing this is messed up. But you're the king of a nation.
Yeah,
you could have, and most of them would.
He would
willingly come to your bed. You could have any woman, and like I said, and a good portion of those women would come to your bed willingly. And you're like, but the one who's trying to murder me sees the one. Like, why? Yeah. Why? It's not like you're doing it for love. You're an evil person, so you can't be like, "Oh, I'm in love with her." No, you're evil and corrupt, and you murder her father. So you can't be like, "Oh, she's my one true love." No, it's not that. So why? You want to prove your power over her? Well, you're just going to get stabbed. Like,
by the way, he's been king for 12 years.
Yes,
he would have already married a princess of some other kingdom to forge an alliance, and had several heirs.
Yes,
he's not doing the job.
No, he's not. I mean. No, he's just terrible. But yeah, I'm just like, come on, man. Come on. You can just stop. Don't go out. If someone wants to kill you, don't try to bed them. How's that ever? Because, I mean, one is you provide them to eat. Once again, I'm not rooting for them. I want them to die. But still, you provide them to eat. Because if they really want to kill you and they're willing to sacrifice it, they could just go along with it. They could be like, fine, yeah, let's do it. And let's see, let's be in love. And they could bide their time, wait about 5-6 months, wait for you to relax, and then bam, bam, stabby in bed one night, and you're dead. So why? Like, that's best case scenario is that they wait. They just stop. Don't.
Maybe she should have done that. She just gone along with it and then killed him and became queen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like the mom could have.
But speaking of the queen,
let him die.
She comes to release the girl.
Yep.
Through a Star Trek door in the floor.
Yeah, just
there are 2 doors that are like giant. This is 1200 AD-ish, right?
Yep.
Stone doors that are like 1.5 foot thick.
That just automatically slide open.
They've got to weigh 5 tons.
Yeah.
Just nonchalantly sliding open through unknown mechanisms.
Unknown mechanisms, because the doors, automatic.
Some kind of proximity sensor, apparently.
Yeah, you know how you go to the grocery store and that little rubber mat you step on and the door opens? They got some of those installed, Robert.
By the way, a passageway that goes from outside the castle straight into the king's bedroom.
Room. Like, I mean, I guess I can understand that to some degree in the sense of if you're truly is only the royal family knows, like that's a great way for the castle under siege, get the king out of here. But yeah, it's a little weird, or not weird. And I guess if the mom's okay, which she is later on with her son dying, then especially is like, you showing the girl who wants to murder the king, hey, here's an easy way in, is like.
Yeah.
Like I said, ultimately the mom is okay with that, so it works out, but still. But yeah, so Kara escapes, and here's where, like I said, Kara's dumb because he tries to kill the king in a room full of people during a party where he's the person of honor. And everybody has all eyes on him. But also she's dumb because as soon as he escapes, I'm not saying you give up your plot to kill the king. I'm not saying you give up your strive to have the peasants revolt and fight back. I am saying, though, that right after you escape, you don't go right out into the streets. Just we got to go fight the king. You start doing stuff more behind doors.
Your hair, cover your face.
I'm not saying give up on the rebellion. I'm saying be smart about it, not just be in the street with your bright red hair being, we should kill. You're literally the person he's going to be looking for. You were in his room last night. You should not be sent out in the street of any town within any proximity of this castle going, we need to stop the king. I'm like,
Yeah. It's going to cause a ruckus when she's discovered missing.
Yeah. It's not going to be, she's not in my bedroom anymore. Okay. Like, yeah.
Anyway, we open back up with they're running another scam on the village.
Yep. Happens to be the village that Kara's at. And
she shows up and is like, they're a fraud. I don't know how she knows this.
Well, no, she doesn't say they're a fraud. C's upset because C is also kind of subscribing to the old knight values of the fact that Bowen is trying to charge the town. That C doesn't find out they're a fraud until after she gets captured. But basically, everybody in the town, Bowen drops trying to get money still drops. Oh, well, if you don't want to pay me, you can give the dragon a maiden, trying to hit into the mayor like one of your daughters. But because everybody is sick of Kara and her trying to start a revolt, they're like, why not just her? So the plan kind of backfires because instead of getting money, they just tie up Kara and be like, here we go, give her to the dragon. Yeah. And Bowen shows once again that he's not really a noble knight. He goes to Draco like, yeah, I'm going to need you to kill this girl. This girl I know nothing about and just met, and I got her into this predicament. I mean, yeah, she was running her mouth, but still, I did get her in this predicament. I'm going to need you to murder this girl. And expects Draco to do it. Like, he's not hinting at it. He's just like, yeah, you get this done. Yeah. And we can go back to scamming people. Like, Bowen has fully gone full opposite of a noble knight at this point. Yeah. It's one thing to scam peasants. It's another thing to ask your friend, can you murder somebody? For no reason? Like, I don't have a good, just straight up murderer.
Also, someone who's already stated I don't want to kill humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could handle that, though.
Anyway, the dragon grabs her, takes her away.
Yeah.
He rolls up on them, and he's singing to her.
He's singing
just
to
having
him.
good old times.
Yeah.
And then Einan shows up.
Yep.
And Einan and Bowen get into a sword fight in this pond, this stream river thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Bowen would destroy him.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean,
easily gets destroyed for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say my thing is this: as you hinted to, Bowen is supposedly one of the best knights in the kingdom, and stuff.
Has a dozen or 2 dozen dragons under his belt,
and he was training Einan, sure, but one is it wasn't that great of training. 2 is that was 12 years ago. I'm assuming they have not had one more training session since that day. And honestly, I'm assuming as the king, I don't see Einan like his mindset. I don't see him taking up training lessons with any of his other knights. So I would put his skill level like he has knights to do that for him now.
Yeah.
So his personal sword fighting level is probably at the same as 12 years ago, the last time they fought on top of that mountain.
I feel like he would have just given up his sword training.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like that was
he
the
would
last
be
time.
he would maybe be good at bows because he likes hunting.
Yeah,
but not good at sword fighting.
The last time I think he fought someone on a sword was on that mountaintop with Bowen 12 years ago.
Definitely not fighting waist deep in
water
moving
against
water,
a man who was already a legendary sword fighter and now has spent the last 12 years fighting dragons. Like, this fight, I'm just like, how? Someone, anyone. What, did that Dragonheart give you special martial arts skills too or something? Is that part of the package still?
But they go back to trying to con the village.
Yep.
Right? I love that the money's in a bag made of a pig's head. I don't know why. That's just amusing to me. But, he sets up his little, I don't know what it is, like a giant arrow thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you call it.
Trebuchet? No, it's trebuchet.
It's not trebuchet. It's basilisk?
Yeah. Basilisk. I'm pretty sure.
I want to look it up.
All right.
Pause.
We'll be right back.
Ballista.
Yes.
By the way, also technologically ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
This stage.
Well ahead.
Yeah. They don't have crossbows at this point. They have just bows. Yeah. Rudimentary bows.
But we just have rudimentary bows, but we also have a ballista just because. Or, I mean, the thing is, Bowen could be making, if there's no Merlin involved, his boa device and this ballista, he either A, is one of the richest people because of it, or B, he's being burnt at a stake because he's a witch.
We see the other dragon slayers later on. They have ballistas, type weapons as well. So maybe it's not complete. They're not being historically accurate in this.
No. I mean, it's obvious.
But anyway, he shoots the dragon, and the dragon falls into the lake, which he's supposed to disappear into, but just smashes into a shallow lake.
Yeah.
One of the greatest comedic random events in movies to me. Yeah. Just on the list of 1,000 great comedic moments, it's in there somewhere. Maybe down at the very bottom, but it's just hilarious that it just you expect him to dive into the water and he just crashes. Yeah.
Yep. And so the village is like, hey, sweet dragon meat. And they go out there to get themselves some, and that's when Draco's like, I'm not that committed to this scam.
I love when they turn around after the dragon leaves and they look at Bowen and team and they're like, meat.
Yeah,
I mean, like, but you got all those pigs, man. Like, you're not cannibal starving.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess it's the king's pigs, but
yeah, they probably.
this ain't Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Okay, it ain't the death for killing a pig.
They might. I mean,
They got a pig's head as a bag, man. That's their pig. They're pig people.
That's probably what he got paid with once. Was like, here's your pig head. Thank you for raising my pigs. But yeah, so yeah, they decide they're going to eat them. And Draco comes back and saves them, luckily. And they so we're, like I said, we get confirmation that we're in some version of England because they go to King Arthur's tomb.
Yep. And find Avalon.
And find Avalon.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah, it's like I said, it's we're not historically accurate, but we are in England. But yeah, and this is where it finally comes out. Draco finally, announces who he is. What's going on with him and Einan, and that
this is a very wordy movie. Okay, we're skipping over a lot of dialogue.
There's a lot of dialogue,
like the camp scene thing where they're talking about the stars and they name the dragon. And this whole scene takes a long time.
I mean, the camp.
This isn't a long movie, but it's very
hour
wordy.
47. But yeah, very wordy. I mean, I think it's probably to make up for the fact that you don't want to have CGI dragon everywhere.
That's right. Yeah,
trying to save some money, Robert.
Well, you want to utilize your Sean Connery voice.
That too. You get Sean Connery to voice your dragon.
All the lines.
You're not going to be like, hey, here's 5 lines to get out of here.
Yeah. Lots of pontificating. So Dragon and Carr decide. Bowen's like, I'm out.
Yep.
He's angry.
He still can't admit that Einan is just fucked up.
Yep. Dragon and Carr decide they're going to go help the peasants. They're going to rise up. And Bowen shows up a few minutes later. He's not out for the picture for more than a couple of minutes. And it's like, okay, we got to train these peasants how to do everything.
And so they basically organize and get the villagers training.
Yep. And the way they do it is a Free Willy moment.
Yes.
Which is an iconic movement. It's on that moment. It's on the poster. He rides up on the hill and the dragon flies up above him.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. By the way, the posters for this movie, fantastic. Not just like the primary one, but ones from like other countries are like super cool and kind of like psychedelic and stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting to look at. So a scout rolls up and sees that they're training, and he sees the dragon and whatnot, and he goes and runs and tells the king. And I mean, I'll have to give Einan some credit. He's like, I'm not underestimating this man or this dragon or this situation.
Yeah.
He's a little whiny, but everyone's like, oh, you can do it. It's like, we're going to take him down. He's like, I don't know about that, man. Like, he's cautious. He's a cautious king. Which is pretty good for a man who's been stabbed 3 times.
I mean, you got to be cautious after that. You get stabbed 3 times, you got to be. But yeah, so they actually they get in a fight. Or not again, the fight, the armies clash. Yep. And they actually come out on top, or the peasants actually start coming out on top.
By tricking them into the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't take your cavalry into an unknown forest.
Cavalry is a open field sort of thing, folks. But basically, this is when it's revealed that we saw that they feel pain. They both feel each other's pain earlier in the movie. But this is where it's revealed to everybody else that Draco and Einan share, because they share a heart, they also feel each other's pain, because Gilbert, of all people, managed to strike Einan. Yeah.
I love Gilbert. I love when he shoots the one guy in the butt and he's like, turn the other cheek, brother. That's such a great line. Also, like, where was the montage where they were building all these traps in the forest?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lengthy movie. They had to get a lot of words in there, Robert.
Prince of Thieves had come out by now, right? Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Was it? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves had definitely come out by this point.
No, I think it was. This came out in '96. I feel like Robert Prince of Thieves was closer to the 2000. Like I think it was like '98, '99. Let's see here. Another good movie.
1991.
Okay, I am completely
5
wrong.
years before.
Okay, yeah. I'm completely wrong. I am.
That's
sorry.
a good movie.
It is.
I like
that.
I like that movie.
It's another good movie.
Maybe the best telling of Robin Hood I've seen.
Yeah.
There's the Disney animated one. It's not bad.
You don't like the crap? I can't remember his name. What is that dude's name?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
No.
Yeah, the Russell. Yeah.
No, I did not like the Russell Crowe one.
The Russell Crowe one was bleh. Bleh.
I don't. Well, never mind. In this capitalist society, I don't know how Robin Hood ever got made. Like, I don't know how they allowed that to keep getting made. I would think any studio exec these days would be like, no, we're not telling that.
No, don't give the peasants ideas.
Yeah.
We don't need to inspire them.
Rob from the rich, give to the poor. Like, no.
Lunacy.
No.
So anyways, this allows the Einan forces to take over, and Einan becomes, now realizing that his life, because I guess he didn't realize it at the time, that his life is tied to Draco. He actually, he flips the scripts, and he wants to keep Draco alive and keep him safe and protected. And so he actually, goes to capture him, or not goes to capture, does capture him. And basically, securing your get out of jail free card.
Well, and then like the movie happens very fast at this point, right? They sneak into the castle through the underground passage, try and take him out, whatever. And he gets into like another fight with Bowen, and he's like, "You can't kill me, I'm immortal." I'm like, is he though?
Yeah.
You cut this dude's head off. I think he's gonna have a problem. Is he just gonna be a talking head?
I mean, that's the thing is, like, what seems to be implied to me is that, because like I said, we see earlier on when Kara is fighting with Einan that Draco feels that.
Yeah.
And then also, like I said, but vice versa. So my thing is, like, I don't think either one of them is immortal. I think you kill Einan, you kill Draco.
Yeah, because we only see him get like damaged in certain places, and then it just heals.
Yeah,
heals back. But I'm like, if you just cut this dude's
full
heart
on
out,
kill him,
would you just kill him and the dragon?
Yeah, just like it works in reverse. Because that's my thing is, like, Draco does feel the pain and stuff. So I'm like, I don't think you're invincible. What you need to be playing on is that they, which I mean, ultimately Draco wants to die or just tells him to die, kill him. But still, is you need to play on their loyalty to Draco and be like, if you kill me, you kill the dragon. You're not immortal. You just have a hostage.
Yeah,
like there's a difference.
But I'm pretty sure a good Highlander head cut is gonna do the job for sure.
But as we once again go on. Somehow, Einan we already hit on this, but somehow he's just as skilled as Bowen with the sword. And
makes no sense.
I don't know how. I don't know. I guess he got him some backup lessons.
Also, he's like half the size.
Yeah, half the size.
Like Bowen's like a scrawny kind of dude.
Yeah.
Bowen's like he's I don't know. He's got like a solid foot on him.
He's got a solid foot.
Bulky.
He got the reach. He's got the skill. He got the experience. I'm just like I don't know how this is happening, but ultimately he realizes that he can, if he kills Draco, and Draco's okay with it, he's actually telling him, begging him to, that he'll kill Einan, and so he chucks an axe in the heart of Draco, killing them both.
Yep.
And all I can say is, you should have just left him in the fucking village. This was a lot.
Yeah, could have skipped a lot of drama.
Happened.
Hey,
a lot of people suffering.
They get
dying.
a castle out of it, Like, by the way, there's a whole lot of fallout after this.
Mm-hmm.
This whole region is in shambles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's no.
I mean, I guess the queen's there to take over, but then that's like a short reign because there's no more heirs.
There's no. Yeah. There's no clear. I mean, like you said, you guess the queen, but will they respect the queen as the ruler? Especially when it sounds like I said earlier, it wasn't like she became queen by choice. It sounds like the king, forced her into it. Yeah. So are the remaining knights going to listen to her? Who if not, who takes over? The peasantry is up in chaos, and it's just like, that's what I love about. I mean, this happened with so many movies. Is they're like, and everyone lived happy ever after. Like, you're just like, how? How?
Yeah, because this isn't like he's not like the king of all of England, right? This is like Saxon times.
Yeah.
If you read the Wikipedia, it specifically says that he's a Saxon king, which means that like England is broken up into a lot of Saxon kingdoms.
So I mean, that's the ending of this movie, Robert, is that they kill the evil king, and then whatever neighboring nation comes rolling in and like, we're in charge now, and that's how the story ends.
By the way, I don't know how you have a sequel if he was the last dragon.
Yeah,
how do you have a dragon?
I know nothing about
the sequels.
No, I know nothing about any of these other movies. I just was shocked to see that there were 4 other ones.
Yeah,
and like we said, one of them is a sequel. Maybe we'll find out. Oh, there was. Well, no, he was a male. I mean, maybe males lay eggs too. Maybe dragons are weird.
Well, there was the female that was the one they killed before.
Maybe the female had laid an egg beforehand, and that's it's gonna hatch. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll probably read the synopsis and figure that out.
Yeah, terrible movie.
Yeah,
not great. Doesn't hold up. I'm not disappointed that I watched it again just because I learned that. But as far as like childhood favorite movies of mine. Not high up on the list.
This one, so we were trying to figure out what we were going to cover, and you sent me that list of movies, and I saw Dragonheart, and I was like, ooh, yeah, let's do that. And now after watching it, I'm like I said, once again,
Short Circuit it is not.
Not upset I watched it, but I definitely am like, well, there's a part of my childhood I can just put away on a shelf.
Flight of the Intruder it is not. The Explorers it is not.
No.
Yeah.
It is. It does not hold up. It does not hold up at all.
As always, you can find us on our website, watchinitpod.com. There you can find links to our social media and to email us, watchinitpodcast@gmail.com. Donnell, what else should they do?
Well, I know we actually said in the last episode that Invincible is coming, but we actually ended up realizing there was a 2 weeks period. So we got one more episode coming your way. We are covering, I don't know if I'd say it's a film. I mean, it's only 25 minutes, but just a short,
yeah,
called Visions of a Distant Star.
Voices.
Sorry, yeah, Voices of a Distant Star. That is right.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, folks. Because it is something else.
It's different. An anime.
Yes, it's anime. It's going to be very good. I'd recommend watching it before hearing us talk about it, because one is we're going to spoil it, but also like it's worth it. It's an interesting one. So yeah, give that
25 minutes long.
Yeah, it's also only 25
watch.
minutes. You can bang that out easily.
Bring your tissues.
Yes. And I have so many. We're gonna get. It's gonna be a good.
Yeah,
episode,
I'm looking forward
folks.
to talking about it next week.
Anyways, we got that coming up, and then after that, we finally have the return of Invincible.
Yeah.
So be looking out for that. Give us any rated reviews, 5 stars. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.